Hello friends, welcome to our tutorial. Today in this video, we are going to have a session on cell biology and the discussion of cell chapter. The history, first of all, we will go from the history perspective of the cell, and later on in the post video or in the post part of the session, we are going to read about all the cell structure and functions and their significance in the cell. So let's begin. I'm sharing the PPT and we will have now it's clearly visible to you all. So let's begin. This cell is called the basic unit of life. All of us know this since very earlier time, since class 8 or since class 7. Since class 7, while having the concept of nutrition, cells are introduced to us as a student. And cell is the basic unit of life. The fundamental, that's why fundamental, I have written here basic for your convenience because fundamental means basic and I have written basic so that you could understand. Now let's begin. First of all, let me see where is my camera here proper. Now let's start. Cell, the unit of life, basic unit of life. Cell is the basic unit of life. All of us know this very well since earlier time. Now let's move to another presentation. Today in this presentation we have basics of cell biology. The study of cell is the branch of biology or science which deals with the study of cell is called cell biology or cytology. Earlier it used to be called cytology. Nowadays in modern terms we call it cell biology. In this session we are going to study cell, what is cell, importance of cell and definition, history of cell discovery, cell theory, cell structure and functions, cell division, and then the recap of what we have done. So let's start. Cell. Cell is the basic unit of life. Cell, it is the smallest living unit of an organism. For I am an organism or you are an organism. Everything, every living thing around us are termed as organism. If you will see the smallest unit of my body, or you can take an organ or a proper tissue. If you will take my one hand, the basic unit, like in a building, like this wall is a complete organism like us. Suppose, not it is, but suppose, and then the one block, one single unit, the base of it, the brick, like is similar to our cell that we possess in our body. For my hands, these are made up of the basic unit or the brick of this we organism as a single cell. And even the life starts from a single cell from the when the zygote forms after reproduction. As in matter, atoms are the smallest one. The very same in living organism, cell is the smallest unit capable of independent existence of life. Cell is made up of molecule and molecules are made up of atoms. And atoms are made up of sub-fundamental particles, electron, proton, and neutron. These we discuss. Now, see, see this diagram. Single life, single cell, different parts, neurons, RBCs, and all. Now cell. This is the proper diagram of a cell or the basic structure of a cell. So a cell consists of a cell membrane inside which it is enclosed, and the cytoplasm, the fluid filled inside it, and the nucleus, the center of the brain of the cell, the nuclear membrane, inside which the nuclear materials or the genetic materials are enclosed, and then the ribosome, the protein synthesis that the that does in our body. This cell have many. This was the basic diagram along which my cursor is moving, and this is the complex structure that we have. And these were the basic. Inside there are many subdivisions and divisions. And cell biology is a very interesting part of biology. Among these, it is my most favorite one, and I have a good command over it since class 8. Cell. Cell is the structure and function unit of life. This is also known, and as I have explained this that it is building block of all living organisms. Already I have explained this. It is divine. If we define it, a mass of protoplasm bounded by a plasma membrane. Plasma membrane, cell membrane, that structure we have seen in our previous slide. Let me show again. This is cell membrane is also known as plasma membrane, and the nucleus plus cytoplasm, the living part inside the cell membrane, together with cell membrane comes to be called the inside particle of this fluid and this nucleus together. Cytoplasm plus nucleus together are called as protoplasm, and they are bounded by a plasma membrane, cell membrane. Already we know. Even we will get to know in the later that cytoplasm itself is divided into two parts. One is the cytosol, the fluid that we know, and the cell organelles embedded in the fluid. And nucleus, it has nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, and nucleolus. All this together bound to make a protoplasm. And cell is defined as a mass of protoplasm bounded by a plasma membrane. In the previous slide, how it is structured and function unit. In this, we will get to know. See, atoms. I have explained that molecule atoms together makes molecule. Molecule together makes a cell, which is a living one, and then groups of cell make a tissue, and this group of tissue makes an organ. An organ group of organs, different organs, similar in function makes an organ system, and and organ systems of different functions together make an individual organism. See, an organism, it has organ system, organ tissue. That's why it is a structure and function. Structure because the cell has its own structure and different functions of the structure, and the structures are for their particular functions. For example, neurons are elongated to transfer the nerve impulse. Then epithelium are columnated or line to give for the absorption. Different functions. Cell vary in shape and size. Most of the cells are very small, microscopic. Some may be very large or macroscopic. They vary considerably in shape. Variation depends mainly upon the function of the cell. Already I have discussed. For example, a neuron has a cell body with a long cell process extending from it. Its function is to receive and transmit nervous signals or nerve impulse. See the diagram of this. That's why it's long. Now move to the cell shape and size. Cell may exist as an independent units of life like bacteria, some microbes, some cells like Eulena and amoeba can change their shape, but most cells have a fixed shape. The number of cells vary from organism to organism. An amoeba is a single cell, while a human body weighing about 60 kgs may have as many as 60 into 10 to the power into 10 to the power 15 square cells. In unicellular organism, example amoeba, paramecium, chlamydomonas, all basic function of a living being are performed in one cell, while multicellular organisms have a well-developed division of labor. As we have seen, the organ system they have different function and they are organized to do their own work. As in, for example, we can take an office. There are different people have different work, and all are in an organized sector. The very same cell is an organized sector of the economy. For example, we have a heart to pump, a stomach to digest, and a brain to think. Example given. All these organs are made up of a group of cells called tissue. Oh, sorry. Discovery of cell. First of all, discovery of cell. First of all, this man, along with my cursor is moving, this Robert Hooke, was the first to discover cell. He discovered cell in the year 1665 uh-uh, while examining a dead cork cell under the microscope. Cork cell is the bark of a tree, the epidermis of the tree, which is very hard in structure because of the chemical inside it. He observed hexagonal beehive-like compartment, which appeared to him as a room of monk or a nun. Thus, the cell came from the Latin word cell. Thus he called it cell because it appeared to be the room of a monk as a hexagonal bee-like structure like in this image I have added. And this was his homemade microscope from which he made this. And this is how, see his experiment. He was a physicist. Basically, he was a physicist and though he discovered. That's why stop hating physics for now. Don't think that if you love biology, it is stereotype that we will hate physics. Cell theory, a very important theory regarding cell. Between 1838 to 1839, Schleiden, a German botanist, and Schwann, a German geologist, proved that plants and animals are cellular in character and founded the cell theory. They postulated that the cell is the basic unit of all life. Virchow in 1885 proposed the idea that all cell arise from pre-existing cell. कोई भी सेल जो होता है वो pre-existing cell से होता है, जैसे पेरेंट के सेल से या सेल डिवीजन हुआ तो उससे होते हैं और कोई सेल अपने आप नहीं originate हो सकता until and unless the daughter cell is produced from the parent cell but comes from cell division वही मैंने कहा माइटोसिस और मियोसिस दो सेल डिवीजन होते हैं इसलिए मैंने यहाँ मेंशन कर दिया of already existing cells called parent cell. After the studies of plant and animal by D. Berry and Schwann, the protoplasm theory was established in 1861. According to this theory, the cell or units of plant and animal are tiny masses of protoplasm, each containing a nucleus. ये बहुत कम ही आपको यूट्यूब चैनल या कहीं मिलेंगे जो बुक पढ़ते हैं अच्छे से बहुत डिटेल में उन्हीं को ये पता है ये सारी अच्छे से हिस्ट्री सेल की और ये आपको बस हमारे ही चैनल पर मिली है In 1884, Stratberger concluded that the nucleus is related to inheritance of character. फिर nucleus का आया ये. After the discovery of different techniques and electron microscope, our knowledge about cell and its organelle has developed tremendously. तब तक कंपाउंड माइक्रोस्कोप और सिंपल माइक्रोस्कोप से ही अभी तक प्रोड्यूस है उसके बाद जब मॉडर्न एरा में जब इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप डिस्कवर हुआ तभी हम लोग को बहुत सारे सेल ऑर्गेनल और बहुत सारी चीज़ों की डिस्कवरी हुई this became a golden era for in the field of biology or discovery. Now cell theory ये इसमें है कि यही सब है ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही डिटेल हो जाएगा मुझे लगता है कि नहीं मुझे करना चाहिए और यहाँ टाइम लाइन है अच्छा टाइम लाइन आसान होता है देखने के लिए इसलिए मैंने ये टाइम लाइन किया है हम्म, हम्म, एक मिनट टाइम लाइन हाँ आ गया हमारा स्लाइड द इन इसे इंडो सिम्बायोटिक थ्योरी भी कहते हैं कि कैसे सिम्बायोसिस तो आप लोग जानते ही होंगे उसी से रिलेटेड है ये न्यूट्रिशन में पढ़ाई और क्लास 11th में सिम्बायोसिस उसी तरह है कि म्यूचुअल बेनिफिट से सेल के अंदर सारे रहते हैं ऑर्गेनल एंसेस्ट्रल सेल जो है वो नए इंडो मेम्ब्रेन कंपार्टमेंट मतलब मेम्ब्रेन के अंदर जो कंपार्टमेंट है उसको डेवलप करता है एक जीन से जाके वो धीरे धीरे डेवलप होते हैं और सेपरेट होते हैं यही है उतना डिटेल में नहीं बताऊंगा ये मॉडर्न हेट्रोट्रॉपिक यूकैरियोट्स का है और टाइमलाइन अब हम अगले स्लाइड में करते हैं टाइमलाइन अब ये रहा सेल थ्योरी और हिस्ट्री टाइमलाइन ये एक तरह का हमारा रिकैप भी हो गया एक मिनट ये हमारा रिकैप भी हो गया और इसमें सारे ये भी हैं फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल 1660 में रॉबर्ट हुक ने किया फिर 1670 में लिवेन हुक ने डिस्कवर किया प्रोटोजोआ लिविंग सेल का हुआ उसमें फिर लिवेन हुक ने डिस्कवर किया बैक्टीरिया 1683 में उसके बाद बहुत दिनों बाद 1838 में इन दोनों का सेल थ्योरी स्लेडन स्वन का हुआ फिर 1855 में कोलकिलर ने माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया मसल में होता है उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया फिर 1882 में बैक्टीरिया कॉजिंग टीबी एंड कोलेरा को आइडेंटिफाई किया गया फिर 1895 में गोल्जी स्टेन सेल को सिल्वर नाइट्रेट में डिस्कवर किया गया गोल्जी अपरेटस और फिर रस्का जो है फर्स्ट ट्रांसमिशन इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप में 19 किया उसके बाद तो बहुत अच्छा सक्सेस रीप हुआ हमारे 1965 में फर्स्ट स्कैनिंग ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप हुआ कॉमर्शियल स्कैनिंग 1997 में शिप क्लोन हुई और ये सभी हैं उनके ठीक है हाँ तो अब एक मिनट अब हम अगले पढ़ेंगे आप सारा सेल स्ट्रक्चर फंक्शन हम मुझे लगता है ये सेल स्ट्रक्चर अब हम अगले वीडियो में पढ़ेंगे तब तक यहाँ के लिए पॉज रखते थैंक यू Ah, thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, friends.